Yeah, we went on a couple dates. And then I decided to invite her and bring her. My friends and I were going on a boat, right? So we're going on a boat for the day. There's a guy there, very attractive guy. Like, women love him, right?
Okay.
He's gay, so like it doesn't, And so she's talking to him and like, just like a little touchy and everything. I'm like, yeah, okay. He's lying down on like the lower deck, and he's just kind of like, right, with a couple other people, and she crawls over to him, over him, and starts air-humping him. And there was like another guy, and two other girls, like in the same space. And both those girls looked at me and they're like, "We are so sorry."
Ooh, baby, welcome to another episode of Why Won't You Date Me, a podcast where me, Nicole Byer, was trying to figure out why I was so single, even though you could come on my nightstand and tell me it was an aspirin. My guest today is a talented actor. You know from kicking ass as Black Noir on The Boys and the ultimate cool dad in Ginny Georgia. I'm so excited he's here. It's Nathan Mitchell. Hi,
Hello.
hi.
Hey, hi. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I am good.
Okay, so
Yes.
Here is my question.
Yeah.
I usually start off most episodes. Are you dating? Are you single? Do you never want to say?
Oh my God, that's a good question.
There's
actually.
options.
There are so many options. I mean, I have been / was dating someone. I don't know what the status of that actually is now. Basically, she's great. She's wonderful. But yeah, we've been, going on dates, and somewhere, like a few dates ago, she was like, "Yeah, we're just talking about our philosophies, our approach to life," and she's like, "Yeah, I don't know if this is gonna work," and I was like, but like I also agreed because we just saw things in different ways. So so.
So you're just in limbo about it.
I mean, not yes, because she was like, yeah. And then there's one evening where she just was like, in just in the feels about it. And I was like, okay, so I guess this is it. And then so I thought that was that. And then she was like, sorry, like, we don't have to like end it like this. So like, you want to, and I'm like, yeah, sure, yeah. And so, we had, another great evening or day, and then I left to travel and stuff, and so was it an ending? Is it up in the air? Is it undecided? I don't know.
Like to be continued. ...
It really does, but who really it could go any direction. I don't know.
The world is in control, I guess. But I do like that you guys had the conversation that you're like, no, but then you're like, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't think either of us knows.
But I do like that you're on the same page with not knowing.
At least we're on the same page about not being on the same page.
Yes.
I think that's the key.
Yes,
that's
because
the key.
Most of the time it'll be like one person's like, I'm in it, and the other person's like, no. And then it's like,
the other person's like, we were in something?
Yeah. That's the funniest when you're like, wait, this was a date? Oh, are you flirting? What is happening?
Damn.
Wait, I have a question.
Awakening.
What's one of the worst dates you've been on?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, hydrate before you answer.
So, there's a girl I knew for probably like years, but not like, I'd see her like, here and there and occasionally. Yeah, we went on a couple dates. And then I decided to invite her and bring her to my friends and I were going on a boat, right? So we're going on a boat for the day. Hey, come join us. And so she comes. There's a guy there, very attractive guy. Like, women love him, right?
Okay.
He's gay, so like it doesn't,
So
but
he doesn't reciprocate.
He does not.
He's
unfortunately.
Like, thank you and goodbye.
But yeah, he's just that kind of guy, right? And so she's talking to him and like, just like a little touchy and everything. I'm like, yeah, okay.
Wait, this is a woman that you invite that you're seeing on this boat, and she's touchy-feely with another man that she doesn't know is gay?
I think she knew. No, she knew he was gay.
Okay.
She knew he was gay,
Okay.
right? And so I was like, okay, And then the day goes on a little more. And like I'm like feeling like a little ways. Look, we're all drinking and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He's lying down on like the lower deck.
Uh-huh.
And he's just kind of like right? With a couple other people. And she crawls over to him.
Uh-huh.
Over him. And starts air-humping him. And there was like another guy, and two other girls like in the same space.
Uh-huh.
And both those girls looked at me and they're like, "We are so sorry." And I was like, at that point, I'm like, I'm not even mad. Like, this is too much. This is okay, cool.
Uh-huh.
So we've established
that this is a thing that you do. You'll just air hunt people you just met.
Yeah. She was like, but he's gay, and I'm like, listen, if I met like someone you knew and they were a lesbian, and I went and I did that would not be cool.
No.
For her, it's like, well, he's gay. It's like fine, and I'm like, yeah.
I love that she was like, it's fine. I'm a fun time. Everyone loved me.
Yeah.
I love when someone doesn't see the error of their ways and like refuses to.
I don't know if it was a full refusal. I don't know if it was a full refusal.
It sounds like it is to me.
But it was that was her perspective. And I was like, yeah, I don't think if the tables were turned that would fly. Mm-hmm. Don't think it would be appropriate. Do not.
What's another bad date?
Ooh, God.
That one was fun.
This is just like an anecdote. But like sometimes not sometimes, this only happened once. But I remember like making out with someone once. And then like afterwards, like my like forearms were bloody because she like dug her nails like so deeply into me.
That's not where I thought that was going. You ever make out with someone and then you're bloody after? No, Nathan, no. That's never happened to me.
Okay, well,
So wait, you made out with someone and they were so into it that they just dug their nails into you?
They did.
Wow.
They did. Yeah, it was special.
And has this only happened once?
I think so.
Oh,
I think it was the once.
It's so funny to preface this with, you ever make out with somebody so hard?
They etch themselves into your skin.
Wow. Did you see that girl again?
I don't think so. But like not honestly, it wasn't not even.
It wasn't the drawing of the blood?
No, honestly, no. I'm not saying that's something that I'm into. But I think it was just, you're just going in two different directions and yeah.
Here's a question. When you started having your like TV appearances, when they started rolling out, were people real thirsty? Were they DMing you? Were they like, yum, yum, yum?
I mean, there was, I think season 2 of Ginny and Georgia was like when the DMs started.
And what's the thirstiest thing somebody has said to you?
God damn. I think someone sent me like a fairly erotic poem.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was like, okay, all right.
The thing I like about that is that took effort. But in the back of my brain, I'm like, is this bitch sending this to everybody? Is it just a copy and paste?
And there do be those people. Mm-hmm. And you're like, I see you. You know.
You're sending this to everybody.
I'm not special. No.
See, that's fucked up.
Hey, a little bit. But hey, it's a hustle.
Yeah. Did anyone ever send you like nasty pictures?
I feel like someone sent something once and I was like, whoa, what is this? And I was like, this too much. This too much. Yeah.
I once had a man not send me any nudes.
Yeah.
He sent me pictures of his sandwich and told me like in detail how he made this sandwich. And then at the end would be like, I can make this for you.
Wow. And how did that feel?
It felt so strange. I was like, do I have the face of someone who's like hungry for sandwiches? Like, do I look like I'm patrolling a subway all the time? Like, why?
Okay, but here's a question. How do you feel about, in general, like food accounts? Someone like making food, like making meals
I like it. There is
Yeah.
this one account where a man does it where he like slaps the meat in a sexy way, and I really don't like that. It really makes me upset. He'll like slit a chicken up and then like get in it, and I don't like it. That makes me really upset. But just like normal cooking, I like.
Normal
That's
cooking.
nice.
Normal cooking is good. Yeah.
Right now, I've been following Ninja Creamy accounts.
Okay.
Do you know what a Ninja Creamy is?
I don't know what that is.
He used creamify technology to make ice cream.
Oh,
it's like this thing.
And like cream can go a bunch of different places.
It can.
So I wasn't. Yeah.
No, this is a non-nasty
cream. This is a wholesome cream.
This is wholesome cream.
Okay.
So you make the base,
which
is like milk and whatever you want to put in it, and then you put it in the freezer for 24 hours.
Okay.
Then you take it out. You put it in this. Take the lid off, you put it in another thing, and then you put it into the Ninja Creamy, and it creamifies it. In like 10 minutes, you have ice cream.
Damn.
And it's really, really nice.
You mean ice cream in 10 minutes?
Yes.
That's fucking crazy.
But it is 24 hours plus 10 minutes because you have to make the base the night before.
Okay.
But if you make several bases the night before, then 4 nights in a row, you have ice cream. And every time you make a creamy, you make a new base, you can have ice cream forever.
I think someone needs to like go into detail about that in the DMs.
About the creamified technology. I have no idea what it does.
Yep.
But every night I sing, creamy, creamy, everybody, everywhere, creamy.
And then you wake up and there's ice cream.
Yes, and it's lovely.
That's a great
I love
spell.
it so much. Although last night I made a bad one.
Oh.
I was trying to make an orange creamsicle.
Damn, okay.
And I used orange creamsicle protein powder, but I also had put sugar in it. So then it was just like obscenely sweet, like violently sweet. Truly just nasty.
You know, that makes me think. I was having brunch the other day, and with the aforementioned, you know, and there was sugar on the side. And she's like, oh, I want some sugar. Pours it in, takes a drink. It's salt.
Oh, Lord.
It was great.
It was great.
I enjoyed that moment. I thought it was fantastic.
I would have been so upset. Wait, did you realize it was salt as she was shaking it in? Oh, okay.
It would have been funnier if I did. It would have been great. It would have been fantastic. But no, yeah.
Did she get a new drink?
She did. I thought it was like slightly unnecessary, but
slightly unnecessary. She got a salty ass drink.
You gotta commit. You gotta commit.
I guess. All right.
I did taste it. It did taste like shit. So
I went to brunch the other day and they had ice cream cones. Ooh. So I got to sit at a table and lick an ice cream cone. God. It was so glorious.
Ice cream on pancakes?
I've never had it,
but
I would do it.
Fucking good.
Oh my God. Yeah. Well, this place was the Mermaid Inn on the Upper West Side of New York City. Oh. They're not paying me. I just don't want them to go out of business because I love sitting at a table eating ice cream.
You know, like those great spots, like that, you know, the gluten-free pancakes? We don't have like that. No, I don't want to say that, but like, I love gluten-free pancakes.
Are you celiac?
No, I just love gluten. Like, if I have too much gluten, it like activates seasonal allergies.
Oh.
And so like but I also love pancakes. So it's an eternal dilemma.
I also love pancakes.
You find those spots with that gluten-free, it's all day. So good.
That's very funny that you like a gluten-free pancake.
I know, it's so specific. You're like, why not just a regular pancake, you fucking nut? Yeah.
Well, I won't call you a fucking nut. I'd be like, you silly man.
That was my internal dialogue coming out. That was
Sometimes that happens.
It was not even a sentence.
Where are your favorite pancakes here in LA?
Oh my God.
And then
yes.
Favorite pancakes in Canada?
Well, there's one on Santa Monica. I'm trying to remember the name. You know? No, you don't. Let me see.
Is it in Santa Monica or just on Santa Monica Boulevard?
In Santa Monica.
I don't go that far. That's too.
It's too far.
That's too damn far from me.
You're right. That's a whole fucking long distance relationship.
It really is.
Yeah.
I could never date somebody who's on the west side.
Oh,
you just would never ever see me.
Watch me date people on the other side of Canada.
Really?
I mean, it's happened a couple times where like I've been in Vancouver and then I'm going to film Ginny and Georgia, or I'm going back to film The Boys. Then I meet someone in Vancouver. And then you have like a month or two, and you're like, I gotta go.
I gotta get out of here.
And then you're there, then you try to fly back. You try to make it work.
How do you make
that work? Does it work? Good question. You gotta really, really, really try. I remember, you know, this was, you know, someone I was dating like a few years back, but I think it's easier when you have like you're like, okay, we're going to get to this point, and then, we're going to be able to spend more time together. Mm-hmm. I remember Ginny and Georgia had just finished, and I was hanging out with her and her friends, and like unprompted, like two of her friends were like, "So, are you back for good?" And I was like, I mean, like I'm here, but I'm gonna go back. But I can fly back. I can just come when I have. They're like, cool. And that lasted maybe a few weeks longer, and then it was did not continue.
Maybe but you also didn't like these friends policing you. No, that's a question she could have asked.
No, you're right. I don't know what went behind that, so I can't anticipate.
Fair.
But yeah, and I think there were probably other factors too. Like, I'm an actor. She had her own thing. The schedules didn't work. It was, and yeah, it would throw off her stuff. But let me tell you though, that breakup, I mean, it wasn't even, because we weren't even officially dating, but like, and she'd been great in like talking about like, hey, I'm not sure, but I had come back, but then I had to go to Europe for a press tour, and it was like getting to that place. So I was checking in, and she was like, yeah, we should talk. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, okay, let's talk right now, because I'm about to get on an 8-10 hour flight to London. And
something just to ruminate about as you fly.
Oh God, that would have been death. So yeah, we had the conversation on the phone as I was like in line to get on the plane. And yeah, that was a nice one.
That was a nice one.
Great times. Great best flight of my life.
Real quick, we gotta take a break. Scam warning, there's fake accounts on TikTok pretending to be my podcast and DMing people saying that they can pay a fee to be a guest on this show. That is 100% a scam. I never charge anyone to be on here. I actually pay my guests. Scammers are getting way too bold lately, so you really have to look out for yourself. Your security deserves to be a priority, and Cash App treats it that way with Security Lock. Cash App requires a successful Face ID or biometric authentication to access your account. It's like your money is protected by your own personal bodyguard, even if your phone is lost or stolen. Plus, if you're about to send money to someone new and Cash App notices something looks a bit off, or you might be falling for a scam, it will send you a warning before the money is sent to confirm that everything looks right. Turn on Security Lock in your Cash App settings today and pay attention to scam warnings to keep your money safe. Learn more at cash.app/security. For a limited time, new Cash App customers can earn $10 if they use code SECURE10 in their profile at sign up and send $5 to a friend within 14 days.
Terms apply. Cash App is a financial services platform, not a bank. Banking services provided by Cash App's bank partners. Prepaid debit cards issued by Sutton Bank, member FDIC. Discounts and promotion provided by Cash App, a Block Inc. brand. Visit cash.app/legal/podcast for full disclosures.
Look, I love putting on a full beat of makeup for a show, but that can take forever. In my real life, I do not have time to be sitting in front of a mirror for an hour just to leave the house. I want a quick fix to make my makeup look good before I run out the door. That's why I want to tell you about Jones Road Beauty. Their best-selling Miracle Balm is the ultimate quick fix before leaving the house. I just need my fingies and I can swap it on as a highlighter, a blush, or even a lip tint. No brush, no fuss, and I'm done in less than a minute. The best part of Jones Road Beauty is all their products are actually good for your skin. Every formula is packed with skin-loving ingredients that nourishes your skin instead of clogging or caking. And you have to try their new lip recharge. It's a lip treatment that feels like a balm, but it has a soft gloss shine. If you want makeup that brings out your natural glow instead of hiding it, Jones Road is the way to go. For a limited time, my listeners are getting a free shimmer face oil on their first purchase when they use code DATEME at checkout. Just head to jonesroadbeauty.com and use code DATEME at checkout. After you purchase, they'll ask where you heard about them. Please support my show and tell them I sent you. What does the perfect partner look like to you?
Ooh, is there a perfect partner?
I don't know.
Question. I think there are so many different types of people that could be a good partner. I think in my life I have, been drawn to people where there's great connection. There's great chemistry. What I've been putting my attention on is like, am I aligned with this person? Do we have the same values? Do we have the same philosophy on life? Do we have the same morals, the same vision? And like that wider structure is are our timelines aligned? Is our timing aligned? And because that's been, I think those things have been a challenge for me. Like in terms of finding someone, it's like you have that connection, you have that chemistry, but then those other things,
but all the other shit's not aligning.
Exactly.
So off of your appearance on Ginny and Georgia, you had to address theories that you were AI?
I guess.
Why? Do you know why people thought you were AI?
My thought is that like, initially I think it started with someone being like, that's the guy from like, I don't know if it was Grand Theft Auto or some video game. And I honestly never even played Grand Theft Auto. But then somehow it merged into AI. And you know what I think it is? Because I got a new TV a couple years ago. And I was watching an episode of One Tree Hill because I was feeling nostalgic. On the screen, everyone's moving a little different because there's this setting on your TV that like is meant for sports, but everything comes default. And then like everyone's moving a little funny.
Very, very quickly. And
yeah. So I think there was a bit of that that particularly with me got highlighted, and then one thing led to another, and before you know it, I don't know, like the first version of ChatGPT on television. I don't know.
That's very funny. Do you watch yourself on things that you've shot or no?
I do. What's interesting is like I remember like the first play I was in, or that I saw a tape of. I had a very interesting reaction to it. I was like, oh, that's interesting. Okay, so I did this here, and I did that here, and I did that here. And I kind of relate to it like an athlete looking at tape of a sport. And for some, like, I think there are a few reasons, but like when I'm watching, I'm able to look at it objectively and impersonally and look at it very much like something I'm breaking down and being like, okay, I was going for this and it had this effect. So if I want to do something different, I got to shift this a little here. And that's always been my relationship to it. And so, yeah, I love to look at it to see where I can improve and get better. I like also just watching it for the first time by myself in case it's fucking terrible. And then I can just like curl up in a ball and wither slowly and then pull myself back together. And then I can watch it with other people. But first,
you got to watch it alone. Yeah. You have a very healthy way of looking at it. I don't go, what can I do better? I'm like, you stupid bitch. Why did you do that? Why did you step like that? You look stupid.
Yeah.
But I do like this is what I can do better. What I can try it like this, that, and the other. But also sometimes I'm like, that's the take you took? I know I did better. I know there's a better one.
I feel you on that. I feel you. Yeah. It's like, I did, you gave something and they're like, why'd you pick that one?
There was one that was so much better.
I know. I was like
dropped in. I was in the zone. I was feeling it.
Had a little booger coming out on this specific one. But I was twitching.
There's also takes that make it in where I've done something very silly and the director's like, don't do that. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then on set, I feel like, I'm like, why was I being so silly? And then they use that and I'm like, I knew it.
It was fucking good.
I knew it.
Yes. Sometimes you just got to follow your instincts and your intuition.
Yes.
And trust yourself.
Your intuition. That's not how that song goes.
At night, I think of you.
That's not the song, but that's a good one.
I want to be your lady, baby. If your game is on, give me a call, boo. If your love is strong. We were singing that on the last day of set because we just wrapped Ginny in Georgia. And me and Ray, who plays Joe, we were walking back from a take and we just started singing it. And Bree, who plays Georgia, was right behind us. And she's like, fuck. I'm gonna sing. And she just started like singing it like randomly throughout the rest of the night. And it was fun. We wrapped it I wrapped at 4 a.m.
Good Lord.
I think she wrapped at like 5:30.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's too late.
Some would say.
I would say.
You would be right.
What time was your call time?
I think it was like, my pickup was 4:30.
PM?
PM.
That's not that bad.
No.
People don't like splits. I love a split day. I love it so much. Have a nice time in the morning, mid-afternoon. Go home at 5 a.m. Honk you.
He said splits, and I thought of someone doing a split.
Oh, I like that too.
I was like, interesting that people would have such a strong opinion on splits.
That's very funny. That's where your mind went. Yeah. I just been a split day. What'd you shooting? But also, I love flexibility. That makes me very happy.
Yeah.
Okay, what advice would you give single people who are listening right now?
I think you have to know yourself and have a good relationship with yourself first. You can only meet someone as deeply as you've gone with yourself. And it's like being honest with yourself, being aware of yourself, being able to reflect. Everything starts with our relationships with ourselves. How do you two want to live life? If you're thinking in the long term, what's your idea of a relationship? Being clear on those things, so you don't get deeper into something and you wind up on a different page and you're like, it's so hard to extricate.
Because we've done so much and we actually didn't have the same, value system, same beliefs on what we wanted.
But the clearer you can be from the beginning,
the easier.
The more trouble you can save yourself.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the many pieces of advice coming from a very, very single, most of the time person.
I'm very, very single, but who's to say most of the time
very,
person?
Very, very single most of the time.
So you're into astrology. And you've been studying astrology since 2008?
Yeah. Oh, you got that. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
My assistant, Lindsay, does so much research.
Lindsay,
she's wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay. What would you have to know about me for you to do a reading on me?
Oh, okay. So, I would need your birth time.
Okay.
Birth date.
9/08, August 29th.
Oh, wow. if I had my phone on me, I could pull up my app and do the chart and give you a reading. I could do that.
Would you want to?
I'm down. We can do it.
Let's do it.
My phone is in the other room. I'm gonna have to.
It can be got.
It can be got. Okay, I'm gonna
told
conduct a magic spell
that I knew that
to
you
conjure
did
the phone. Yeah.
Yes, the magic spell. A phone.
That's actually how you say it.
A phone.
With the specific hand motion.
A phone.
There we go.
It's finally Way Day at Wayfair. From April 25th through the 27th, you can score some of the best deals for home goods. I'm talking 80% off with free shipping on literally everything. If you've seen my place, you know my style is very eclectic. I love a lot of color and weird accent pieces, and Wayfair is the only place where I can find stuff that fits my vibe and space without spending a whole life savings. I'm actually looking at some new outdoor furniture right now because it's spring, and I want to be able to sit outside and watch my crops. I'm a farmer. It's so easy to find exactly what you need with their filters and reviews, so you don't end up with a planter that's too small or without the drainage holes that you need. Plus, they have Wayfair Verified now, where their team vets everything with a 10-point quality inspection. You're getting a quality piece no matter what your budget is. Way Day is the sale to shop the best deals in home. We're talking up to 80% off with fast and free shipping on everything. Head to wayfair.com April 25th through the 27th to shop Way Day. That's WAYFAIR.com. Wayfair, every style, every home. So me and my friends love to take trips together. And we took this trip to Joshua Tree. And I was like, I don't want to stay in a hotel. I want to stay in a really, really, really cute house with a good kitchen. Because when I'm going to do a girls trip, I absolutely love to just cook in the kitchen and not have to order room service and not always have to go out to a restaurant or whatever. And look, I love my friends. I really do. But lately, I don't get to see them as much as I'd like. So when we finally plan a trip together, it has to count. I want every second to be quality time. That's why when I'm traveling with friends, I look to book a stay on Airbnb. Airbnb is great because you can book an entire place to yourself. Next time you're traveling, book a stay on Airbnb so you can actually stay together.
Thank you. And what I realized over time is that all of that stuff is relevant.
Yes.
Right? But knowing about someone is different than knowing them.
Ooh, okay.
And so I can have a bunch of facts and that can help me relate to you. but that doesn't substitute for the experience of like connecting
getting to
with
know
you
you.
and like, experiencing you.
Okay.
You know? So yeah, eventually like, I reference this stuff and I I interface with it, but like it doesn't substitute for like sitting across a person and just like living and experiencing them.
Have you ever dated somebody who was also into astrology, and have you ever gotten to astrology offs?
You know what? Probably not as much as me. I think that's a rarer thing. But it does help when someone's into astrology and you're speaking the same language, and you like when you can tell them something and they'll understand. Or it's nice when they're really into it, right? Because then you can like teach them and show them different things, and like they love to learn and you love to share. And so that's been fun too.
I would be fun to date because I'm like a fish. I just forget things. Is that a fish thing?
It's a goldfish thing.
Yeah, I'm a goldfish.
Yeah.
You'll tell me something and I'll be like, goodbye.
I
tell me
also
again.
have a questionable
Goodbye.
memory at times, so I know what you mean.
Okay.
Except when it comes to astrology, because I remember a lot.
Okay.
But so what's your birthday?
August 29th.
August 29th. And what year?
Honk, honk.
What time?
9:08 a.m.
9:08.
Mars, will you bleep the year? Because I like not having people, because I don't want people to be like, then you know how old you are if you know the year.
No one's going to know.
I do a bit where I'm just like, I'm 92, I'm 68, I'm 88.
I'm 2003 personally. Let's see, what city?
Red Bank, New Jersey.
Red Bank, New Jersey. Red Bank. Okay, so are you a Libra rising? You've never done your chart.
I have done my chart, but again, I simply forget.
Okay.
I thought I was a Virgo.
You are like close. So time does matter.
Yes.
And you would be close to a Virgo rising. You would be close, but you'd have to be born around like 8:45, 8:30.
80.
Oh, you give me a different.
8:09.
Damn.
I'm so sorry.
Damn. You see?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So, about to do
I
this
was
whole
trying
reading.
To, remember my because I have my birth certificate in my bedroom because I had to order a new one.
Mm-hmm.
It is 8:09 a.m.
Okay. All right. So that does make you a Virgo rising.
Okay.
Your son,
the only thing I remember from my chart.
Good thing, because that would have been a very different reading. Your sun is in Virgo in the 12th house. Your moon is in Gemini in the 10th house.
Okay,
which is very fitting, which makes a lot of sense. You have Mars in Capricorn. You have Venus in Libra in the 2nd house.
And what does that mean?
Okay, so Venus is how we approach relationships.
Okay.
Right? And so when you look at Venus, it's what we value aesthetically. It's how we relate to people. It's how we bond, right? And it's like how we are in relationships. So Libra is, the scales are about balance. And there's this theme of harmony, of wanting peace, and it's like, where can you go to reset and find equilibrium, And so, people with Venus and Libra tend to not like too much conflict, So that's one of the things that would be your preference in a relationship. Again, now, that's only one part of the chart. So other parts can add flavor and, dimension to it. Your Venus is also in the 2nd house. And the 2nd house is the house of income. It's the house of resources. And when planets are there, there tends to be a theme of like wanting to prove yourself to yourself.
Oh.
Because it's also related to like our self-esteem. It's related to our own talents. It's also connected to just survival, right? And so for people with planets in that house, there can be an attention on, using your talents and your skills to acquire resources, to establish security for yourself, to just make sure you're in a place where you can survive what life throws at you, because you also have Pluto there. And Pluto is a very intense planet. And depending on where it is, it's where we come up against sometimes the shadow side of life, and again, I don't want to say this applies in every scenario, but I had a friend growing up who had Pluto in the 2nd house, and money and income and all that stuff was very like survival oriented. Like that was her relationship with, with money growing up, and she's done really well for herself. But just that starting point, and it's more like there's like a life or death energy,
Yeah. My dad once said to me, once money is gone, it is gone. And that has stuck with me in a way that maybe is deeply unhealthy.
I mean, we're all coming at things from different angles, right? And so it might be just true for you or true for your situation or like how you view things, right? And it might be a necessary perspective at one point in your life, and then at a different point you can, move on to a different place. But yeah, this notion of this energy of like finality and just like the real ruthless truth around something is very Plutonian, right? And so that being in your second house, I mean, it is gone, but it doesn't mean it can't come back. Like that specific money that you got rid of is gone, but it doesn't mean there can't be something else, right? You also have the South Node right beside your Venus. And again, this is if you're into this stuff or not.
No, I think it's interesting.
It is pretty fucking cool. But the South Node, you can use this as a metaphor or look at it like in reality, tends to be connected to past lives. Okay. And the unresolved lessons and the unresolved stuff that we have, right? So that being aligned with your Venus in the South Node suggests that like this has been a sticking point in past lives. And so there's extra, karmic weight or energetic intensity like with these issues, right?
Okay.
So we're going to also look at Mars, which is in Capricorn, and that's in the fourth house.
Okay.
And the fourth house is family. It's home. It's our roots. And Capricorn is about building something. It's about being productive. It's about being efficient. I don't know if efficient is the right word, but building something that lasts. If you think of, just a metaphor of climbing a mountain. Like what's a mountain in your life where you want to climb or you want to achieve something, right? So that would be Capricorn. And with Mars and Capricorn in your fourth house, when I think of people who have Mars and Capricorn in the fourth, I have a friend who has it, and I'm not saying this would apply to you, but there's a very lively energy, in the home. Like her house was a house we would go to in high school. Like her parents would always be cooking food. Everyone would be over. There would be parties, and so there's just like a lot of energy and activity in the home, or attention towards building, a home and needing a safe space where you can operate. All right. Okay. So
that very much resonates with me.
Okay, great. Added to which you have Sagittarius on the fourth house cusp. So the fourth house is the house of home. So Sagittarius would flavor it as well. And Sagittarius energy is very independent. It's very roving, freedom-oriented, travel-oriented. So maybe, you hopped around to different homes. Maybe, you could have lived in another country or gone to been born in one place, moved and settled down in another, right? Those are possibilities. It doesn't have to manifest that way, but there's some theme of Sagittarian like freedom or travel or wandering that's usually associated when you see Sagittarius on the fourth house cusp.
I wonder if that has to do with me touring. I tour a lot.
I mean, that could be it as well. Because here's the thing. Usually you look at the ninth house and other themes, but there is because when you look at Sagittarius, you look at Jupiter, and Jupiter's in your sixth house. And so the theme of travel with Sagittarius carries over to Jupiter. And the sixth house is about everyday work, right? And so traveling for everyday work, right? Gemini moon in the 10th, talking.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the 10th house
is,
you're like, I fucking love to talk.
Yeah, I do.
That's what I do.
I do
be talking. So yeah, Gemini is a sign of communication. It's a sign of listening. It's a sign of just of speaking, right? And the moon is our heart.
Okay.
It's how we connect to and experience our emotions, right? And air moons and Gemini moons tend to be more comfortable talking things out, and thinking about their feelings rather than like feeling their feelings, And in the 10th, the way that manifests is the 10th house is your career. It's a public sphere. So putting your heart into something and using that as a vehicle for communication, those would be themes with someone who has Gemini placements in the 10th house, right? And then you got your Sun and Mercury in Leo, which is Leo is the performer. We love a little applause for a Leo.
I really do.
Yeah, we fucking do. And yeah, it's in the 11th house of it's pretty close to, it's actually on the 12th house cusp. But it's like so the 11th house is networks and groups and communities. The 12th house is solitary. It's private. And your sun is there too. And what I would say when I see a 12th house sun is there's a need for alone time. There's a need for privacy. And there's probably a part of yourself, or probably like a core part of yourself that most people do not see. It's like when people are like, I'm a Sagittarius, and actually I feel like I can see this as well. Like people say like, I'm a Sagittarius and you can tell that. Or like, I'm a Leo and you can tell that. You're a Virgo. I'm not picking up a lot of Virgo energy. Right? But that Virgo energy is hidden. It's in this private place, right? And only people who are really close to you are going to see that, or it's going to come out in those private environments. Yeah.
Yeah, because I've been told that Virgos are like, they have rules and they're very tidy and they like things a certain way. And those are all very private things because I have a lot of rules
like,
that people don't know about, but when they break them,
but you're like,
I'll let them know about it.
We done. Yeah. No, Virgo, like, I think with Virgo, it's like you see where things are and you see how good things could be, and there's this need for self-improvement, for perfection, to reach an ideal, like very detail oriented, and the need to be of service to other people, that to be competent, to be skilled, to do and give something that is useful to others. Yeah.
How did you get into astrology?
How did I get into it?
Yes.
I was really, in high school, I was very into spiritual exploration, right? And I wanted to understand myself, right? So I would go on the computer in the library and like do personality tests and like read and look up different things. And then one day I found a website, like an astrology website. And it was a monthly horoscope, and it divided like even the sign of, say, Cancer rising, because I'm a Cancer rising, it's like the first 10 degrees, the second 10 degrees, and the third 10 degrees. So I looked at mine in the third, and what was interesting is like there was a couple things that were right every month that were outside of my direct control. Because you can say, okay, you're gonna have a great day. You can go out and like give yourself a great day. But say like, you look at the realms where things can manifest. So it's like you look, okay, Venus is relationships, 11th house is groups of people. Say there's a alignment between Venus and Mars. It's like, okay, something exciting, something with some tension, some fun energy is sexual tension, fun energy is gonna happen in, around groups of people, on this day. And consistently,
it would just be right.
Yeah, in a way that I couldn't like manipulate directly, right? And then I found this other astrology website, and that was right. So I was like, oh. So it just like piqued my interest. And then I got a reading in 2008. And this guy, he just like laid out a bunch of stuff. And I was like, wow, okay. And he gave me this chart, and I didn't understand it at all. But I said to myself, I'm going to understand this. And so I just studied. I just read all these books. I'd go on forums. I'd read different people's interpretations. And
where did you get that reading? Are you trying to gatekeep, or you want to share?
Oh no, that dude, he's old. He's old.
You're like, he done did.
I don't know where he is. I would love to. I think I tried to too. I just like he doesn't answer his email. I tried years ago. He doesn't answer his emails. I don't know if I don't know where he is. I don't know if he's here. I don't know if he's there.
On a different plane.
Yeah, I don't know if he's transcended to another environment. But he was great. Yeah.
I like I like a tarot card readings.
I love me some
and
tarot.
I'm very good at reading tarot.
Yes.
But only this specific deck and only in my house.
Interesting.
But I can read them if someone has a deck that they love and I'm in a safe place, then I can read them. But if I'm just like out in the world, like if here, I don't think I'd be able to read them well.
What I find interesting about tarot is you can, or I can read for somebody else. I can't read for myself.
I can only read for myself if I need a message.
What I find is like if I ask the tarot a question and it's like what's going to happen, and it gives me an answer. Like I'm like, oh, that's the answer. No, it wasn't the answer. It was like the next emotionally significant thing that was going to happen to me. So it wasn't specifically that, but it'll tell me something, but not what I asked. You know,
mine. I can, it will only give me answers if I actually need to know. Otherwise, it'll tell me about my career and money.
Fair. This is not bad answers to get. Not bad answers. You know, it's crazy too. Like I have a friend who I read with, who I've honestly been reading with since like we go back like to high school, right? And sometimes we'll ask like too many questions, and we'll get really bad cards, and it's the tarot's way of being like, "Fuck off."
Yeah, fuck off.
We're done here.
You're making me work too fucking hard, and I don't want to do it.
Yes, it's overtime, and they're done. They're done.
Do you have a special deck that you like to use?
I like Rider-Waite. It's classic.
Yes.
You can. I'm very familiar with the symbolisms. You know, like I think personally, like when you're answering questions and you pull out different cards, I like to look at the sky. And like, what color is the sky? Because that gives an inclination of the emotional tone of the answer. Yeah.
My card is it's by an artist called Dawn Aquarius, and
it sounds familiar.
She has, I think, a couple different decks. I was in Joshua Tree, and I was in a vintage store, and I was like, "Do you have the Dawn Virgo cards?" And they were like, "What are you talking about?" Like, these are Dawn Aquarius. Where's Dawn Virgo? And they're like, "That's the name of the artist." So I think the cards were like, "What a silly Billy."
That's funny, but like,
we like her.
But like, no one's gonna know all the names by
I
heart,
know. I was like, and I'm the idiot. Come on.
No, not at all.
Well, Nathan, we have reached the end.
We've reached the end.
We have. Do you have anything that you want to promote?
Anything I want to promote?
Yes.
I want to promote my mom because she's wonderful.
That's nice.
And and my dad and my sisters are great too. But I was going to make a joke. But basically, my mom would be like, "That's not funny." So I'm going to stop.
Okay, fair.
But we finished Ginny Georgia filming season 4. I don't know when it's coming out, but we done. And The Boys is coming out April 8th. If you're watching this before April 8th, it's coming out April 8th. If you're watching it after, go fucking watch it.
Okay, I have a question. Would you date me?
Here's a question. Do you like Pokemon?
I have a tattoo of a Jigglypuff.
Damn! Okay, yes.
Jiggly.
I'm sleeping already.
Who's your favorite Pokemon?
Charmander.
Okay.
He's the best. He's the OG.
He's very, very cute.
I love him.
When I go to karaoke, I always sing the Pokemon theme song. And it's a real crowd pleaser.
It would be.
It is.
That's a sleeper.
And everyone gets so into it.
Oh, man.
It's such a good song.
Can you do it now?
No.
Yeah. Dun, dun, dun. I want to be the very best. Dun, dun, like no one ever was. Bum, bum, bum. To catch them is my
greatest test.
Is my cause. Bum, bum, bum.
Pokemon.
That was fantastic.
Listen, I need the words there. I don't know any song front to back.
I think I actually still know all the words of that song.
It sounds like you do.
I do, yeah.
And it was humiliating for me to be like, that's the song I always do. And I'm like, I simply don't know the words.
What is it? Yeah.
But my second song is always Creed. Can you take me higher? Anyway, if you like this episode of Why Won't You Date Me, you can like it, you can follow it, you can rate it 5 stars on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And if you write me something nasty hitting on me to whywontyoudatemepodcast@gmail.com, I will read it. Please keep sending them. I will say, please keep them a little shorter because that's my request. This nice person writes, "Hi, Nicole. Our date would start with a nice romantic dinner at your favorite fast casual restaurant. I hope it's Chili's. I love Chili's. It's very affordable. After dinner, we would hit the streets looking for a third. Who? Anyone with a working penis. Wow. We would take him back to your place. We would Eiffel Tower him. As you fuck him, I would sit on his face. Don't worry, we'll take turns. When he's ready to finish, we'll make sure he comes in a jar. We'll use his cum to make delicious ice cream in your new Ninja Creamy.
Wow.
We'll send him on his way as we enjoy our ice cream watching movies. I guess I've mentioned the Ninja Creamy before. Well, all right. You loved it. Wow. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
That was a HeadGum podcast.